Brown from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today's hearing gives us an opportunity to explore bipartisan solutions to protect Americans' personal identifiable information. When services like 23andMe first launched, they were seen as groundbreaking, giving people unprecedented access to information about their ancestry, health, and genetics. For the first time, you could uncover long-lost family connections or gain insights into potential health risks, all from the comfort of your home. But what many of 23andMe's nearly 25 million customers didn't realize was that unless they actively opted out, they were also consenting to share their personal DNA data with third parties. Unlike a password, you can't change your DNA, and it can't truly be anonymized. What's more, one person's genetic data can reveal information about their entire family. Now, with that company's future uncertain, the safety and security of that data hangs in the balance. Americans deserve real oversight and tough privacy protections to keep their most sensitive data safe. Mr. Selsovich, when you became the CEO, just as 23andMe experienced a massive breach that exposed the sensitive genetic data of 7 million users. What concrete steps have you taken since to prevent this from happening again? And what can you tell your customers today, right now, that you couldn't say a year ago to reassure them their most personal data is safe?
Congresswoman, I will just want to reiterate that 23andMe always has put our consumers' security and data security and privacy at the forefront of the company. Since the data incident, we have implemented additional security measures. We, forced every customer to actually reset their password to make sure that their accounts are safer. We implemented two-factor authentication, whereby a customer has to either get an SMS or an email sort of code to actually enter in addition to their password to make sure their data is secure. And then we also ensure that any sensitive data, like the personal genomic data that the customer has, if they requested that data, that there was additional verification of the customer requesting it, such as their date of birth and other credentials, and then also put a time limit so that they couldn't access that data immediately, but rather put a time delay of 48 hours on that data. In addition, we've hired a new Chief Information Security Officer at the company and put in additional security controls. Through the bankruptcy process, we're making sure that, essentially through the process that our customers' data is safe, because we're requiring any bidder for the company to continue with the privacy policies and consents that are in place here at 23andMe.
Thank you. We are having this conversation at a time when foreign adversaries like China and Russia are working overtime to exploit Americans' personal data. We know that China has targeted Americans' genetic data to train their AI technologies to develop advanced medicine and even for military research. And we are facing this threat with fewer resources. The Trump administration has made massive cuts to funding and staffing at our nation's top cybersecurity agencies. We need both strong cybersecurity protections and federal privacy laws to protect Americans' data. So, Ms. Hu, as you know, there is no federal framework for how private companies handle consumer biological data. What steps should Congress take to ensure that private industries isn't putting Americans' private health and genetic data at risk, especially in the hands of our foreign adversaries?
Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for that question. I do believe that we need an overlapping regime that takes into account both strong federal data privacy protections that now need to update laws such as HIPAA that do not cover these types of new biotech services and wearables and other types of apps. New health data is being generated that is not covered under our existing health data protection laws. And we are increasingly faced with cybersecurity laws and data privacy laws at the state level that are now stepping in to fill the gap that is being left by Congress. But especially with AI warfare on the horizon, it's absolutely critical, and I agree with you, this is a bipartisan issue.
Thank you so much. I'll close with this. Americans deserve to know their sensitive private data is safe and secure. I look forward to working with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle as we continue these important conversations. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you very much.